Hello everyone, this is Dr.P.Syamala from the Department of MBA International Business, Acharya Nagarjuna University. Our today's topic is regarding classical theories of management. In previous classes we have learned about classical theories, neoclassical theories and modern management theories core principles. Okay, and in overall theories we have studied about the principles. Okay, we have summarized all the theories and we have ascertained the principles, and now in this session we are going to learn about each and every theory, about classical theory, about neoclassical theory and the modern theory of management. Okay, if we see in this class we'll study about classical theories of management. Okay, so before this before we are going to study about these three types of theories, okay, we'll just have an introduction. Means we all know that management is studied in business academics since earlier times, and it is considered as an integral part to understanding business operations. Okay, but people have been changing and redesigning organizations for centuries. Okay, though the 20th century is noticeable in history as an era of scientific management, still it does not indicate that management tactics were not used in yesteryears. Why? Because in previous years also, in previous centuries also, we are in touch with management. Okay, so many studies indicated that management theory evolved with scientific and bureaucratic management that used measurement, procedures and routines as the basis for operations. Okay, here firms developed hierarchies to apply standard rules to the place of work. Okay, penalized labor for violating rules likewise. Okay, so here we have different theories also emerged in modern management theories. Okay, so if we see the evaluation of management, as we studied before, it can be categorized into three: classical theories, neoclassical theories, modern management. Before this classical theory, we have pre-scientific management era. Okay, so in this pre-scientific management era can be taken from the year 1880s, means 18th century onwards. Okay, but after that classical theory era will comes under from 1880 to 1930. Okay, after that neoclassical comes from 1930 to 1950 and modern management from 1950 onwards. Okay, so if we see about this early management thought, the period of 1700 to 1800, it emphasizes the industry revolution, and the factory system highlights the industry revolution and the importance of direction as a managerial purpose. Okay, after industrial revolution, okay, we know that the factories, we have resources, but the use of those resources properly became difficult. Okay, so the development of management theory can be recognized as the way people have struggled with relationships at particular times in olden periods. Okay, so many economic theorists during this period described the notion of management. Okay, so if we study means Adam Smith and James Watt, okay, they have been recognized as two theorists who launched the world towards industrialization. Okay, so Adam Smith brought about the revolution in financial thoughts. Okay, Adam Smith he thought, or else he launched, okay, he brought about the revolution in financial thought. And James Watt, we all know, okay, steam engine provided cheaper power that revolutionized English commerce and industry. Okay, so power became cheaper in those times. Okay, so both provided the base for modern concept of business management theory and practice. Okay, so if we talk about Adam Smith, means he explicated the concept of a division of labor. Okay, and the other person, he described the importance of direction and control. Okay, so therefore this Adam Smith, he stated that market and competition should be controllers of economic activity and that tax policies were destructive. So the specialization of labor was the basis of Smith market system. Okay, so according to Smith, a division of labor provided managers with the maximum opportunity for improved output. Okay, so he told, Adam Smith told, division of labor, it provides managers with maximum opportunity for improved output. From 1771 to 1858, Robert Owens, okay, he studied for concern for the workers. Okay, not for productivity, but he showed concern to the workers. He was repulsed by the working conditions and poor treatment of the workers in the factories across Scotland. Okay, so Owen became a reformer. He is more concerned towards the workers. So he reduced the use of child labor and used ethical influence rather than physical punishment in his factories. Okay, he reproached his fellow factory owners for treating their equipment better than they treated their workers. Okay, so the classical approach, if we talk about this approach, the classical approach is the earliest thought of management. The classical approach was associated with the ways to manage the work. Okay, it is, classical theories are to manage the work. Okay, and organizations more efficiently. So the classical approach is categorized into three, namely scientific management, okay, administrative management and bureaucratic management. Okay, so if we see about scientific management, okay, so scientific management is also referred to as Taylorism, okay, or the Taylor system. Why? Because the father of the scientific management is F.W. Taylor. So that's why scientific management is known as Taylorism or else Taylor system. Okay, so this scientific management evaluates and synthesizes workflows with the aim of improving labor productivity. The scientific management, it emphasizes more, it stresses more on the productivity only, it is not people oriented, it is productivity oriented. Okay, so productivity, its main aim is to synthesize the workflows, okay, evaluate the work, and aim is to improve the labor productivity. And in other words, if we want to tell, means conventional rule of thumb are substituted by accurate procedures developed after careful study of an individual at work. Okay, previously we have rule of thumb. Rule of thumb means we don't have in 18th century, before 18th century, we don't have any particular theories or principles. Okay, but the experiences of the managers who are working at that particular organization, okay, depending upon their experiences, they will follow some rules. Okay, so which is known as a rule of thumb, but those are not theories or those are not principles, but they are a rule of thumb, means with the experiences of the managers, okay, at that time they followed those. But now with entry of this scientific management, that rule of thumb is now substituted by accurate procedures, okay, and developed after careful study of an individual at work, okay. So universal approaches to scientific management are developed for efficiency of workers, standardization of job roles or activities, and also discipline, the role of managers and the business hierarchy, okay. So here the efficiency of workers, mainly focused on the efficiency of workers. Then about standardization of the roles or activities, job roles or activities, and finally discipline should be there, rules and regulations, okay. So and there should be a organizational structure or else business hierarchy. The scientific management theory had an enormous impact on the business industry at the beginning of the 20th century, okay. And many big and victorious organizations like McDonald's, hamburger chain, okay, or call centers utilized modern version of scientific management, okay, because in this modern version of scientific management, it involves division of labor, it involves standardization, okay. So it involves increase in the efficiency of the worker, okay. So likewise stringent rules and regulations were there. So all these lead to the productivity of the organization. So among famous theorists, Taylor's contribution in area of scientific management is invaluable, okay, means it is very great. His contributions are very great. The components of scientific management are what to say means what are the elements of scientific management, or else what are the principles of scientific management means, or else the techniques of scientific management means determination of the task, okay, determining the task to the persons who has to do the work, who is having the authority and responsibility, okay, who will give the directions. So proper determination of the task will be there, planning will be there, okay, and proper selection and training of workers will be there, means scientific selection will be there, okay, and training will also be provided for the workers in different methods, okay. Likewise mental revolution such as job specialization, okay. So all these can be made under this scientific management. Those are all known as the techniques or else components, okay. Once again I will repeat, what are the techniques or else what are the components of scientific management means, it is the first of all, it determines the tasks of the employees, it determines the task of the people who are working in the organizations, okay. It will determine, it will assign the activities, then planning will be done. Proper selection means scientific selection according to the qualifications, according to the abilities, according to the capabilities, they will take them, okay. Likewise training of workers will be given, modification of organization will be done, mental revolution such as job specialization, okay, all can be done. So as a result it become more concerned with physical things, okay, rather than towards the people. So if we study all these things, what we can gain knowledge means, it is more emphasized on material, machinery, but not on the people. It only concerned with the increase in the productivity, increase in the efficiency of the worker for the production, okay, but not, it doesn't show concern towards the people who are working in the organization, okay. So scientific management focuses on worker and machine relationships, okay. Scientific management, okay, scientific management focuses on worker, okay, focuses on worker and machine, okay, worker and machine relationship, okay. Organizational productivity can be increased by enhancing the competence of production processes. Okay, so this Taylor's scientific management academic records indicated that F.W. Taylor and his colleagues developed the first systematic study in management. He initiated an innovative movement in 1910 only. Okay, from the year around 1910. Okay, he innovated this scientific management theory. Okay, he is the first person who had taken initiative, okay, for the innovative movement in scientific management. Frederick Taylor is known as the father of scientific management, and he published Principles of Scientific Management, in which he proposed work methods designed to boost worker productivity. Okay, Frederick Taylor, he is considered as father of scientific management. He published his book known as Principles of Scientific Management. Okay, in where he proposed work methods designed to boost worker productivity, how to increase the workers' productivity. All such things were studied under that book, Principles of Scientific Management. Okay, Taylor asserted that to succeed in these principles, it is necessary to transform the part of management and labor completely. His philosophy was based on some basic principles. Okay, so the first principle is separation of planning and doing. Okay, planning and doing. So first principle is he separates these two, planning and doing. Okay, so in the pre-Taylor era, an employee himself used to choose or plan how he had to do his work and what machine and equipment would be necessary to perform the work. But Taylor divided the two functions of planning and doing. Okay, he stressed that planning should be delegated to specialist only. Okay, so planning should be done by the specialist people only. So he divided planning persons and he divided the doing persons. Okay, so before that, an employee himself, he will choose the plan, he had to do his work, and he has to plan what machine he has to take, what equipment. Okay, all the stuff was to be taken into consideration by that particular person only. But after Taylor, he divided into two functions, planning function and doing function. Okay, so the second principle of Taylor's management approach is functional foremanship. Okay, so he has taken another principle also. If we see in principles, okay, see here, in these principles we will add those things also. One is planning and doing. He divided this is the first and foremost principle. Okay, first one is replacement of rule of thumb. Okay, in this rule of thumb, scientific management was introduced. Okay, and here after that, planning and doing functions, dividing. Okay, so means it is considered as division of labor. Okay, planning will be done by the specialist, doing will be the workers. Okay, so and the second principle here is that the management approach is functional foremanship. Okay, so Taylor launched functional foremanship for administration and direction. Okay, for administration purpose and for direction purpose. Okay, Taylor launched functional foremanship. Okay, functional foremanship. So under this functional foremanship, okay, we will have this administration and direction parts. Okay, means planning and organizing. Okay, one will be planning, one will be the directing. Okay, one will be planning, one will be directing. Under this we will have four members. Okay, under planning we will have 4 members. Totally 8 members will work here. Okay, so for first 4 persons, 8 boss scheme, we may call this as functional foremanship as 8 boss scheme. Okay, under these first 4 persons like route clerk, instruction card clerk, time and cost clerk and disciplinarian are associated with the planning function. Okay, so under planning function 4 people will be there. First person will be under those 4 persons. Route clerk will be first person, instruction card clerk will be second person, time and cost clerk will be the third person, and disciplinarian will be the fourth person. Means all those they will do according to their activities they will perform. Okay, so likewise if we see in other part, directing part, okay, under directing part we again see 4 members. One is speed boss, inspector, maintenance foreman and gang boss. Okay, so those are all concerned with operating function. Okay, direction. And if we see the third principle is, okay, the third principle of this scientific management, okay, is the main constituent of scientific management are work study. Okay, involving work study important, and work measurement is also very important under this scientific management. So work measurement means using what method, and time study also. So how much time is needed to perform a particular work, so that is a time study. Okay, likewise motion study, time study, work study, all will be studied here. And the other one is standardization of tools and equipment for workers and improving the working conditions. Okay, so that is also another principle regarding this principles of scientific management. Okay, so if we see here, see these principles will be regarding to these only. The third one, more equal division of responsibility, means we are seeing here for under functional foremanship. Okay, so we will see here the planning and direction parts. Okay, so likewise if we see close cooperation between management and labor. Okay, so planning and direction, functional foremanship. Okay, maximizing the efficiency and productivity. So likewise we will see here a scientific selection, scientific placement and training of workers also. Okay, under by a centralized person department. And the other principle is a bilateral mental revolution. See here, mental revolution is nothing but understanding between the workers and management. Okay, without workers management cannot sustain, and without management workers cannot sustain. So that mental revolution should come between both the workers and management. Okay, so it is also necessary on part of management side and the foreman, superintendent, owners, board of directors, etc. Likewise if we talk another principle, it is financial incentives. Means to encourage the workers, it will give better performance. Okay, so means paying the piece rate system. Taylor introduced differential piece rate system. So differential piece rate system means the person who is efficient, he will be paid more amount. The person inefficient, he will not be paid more. So that is known as differential piece rate system. So this is also another principle under the scientific management. So if we sum up all those things, we will study. Okay, if we sum up all those principles. Okay, so first one is science. It is a science but not rule of thumb. Means it is not, so experiences of managers, it is not considered like that. Okay, then harmony should be there, not discord. No disputes between the employees and management. Okay, likewise maximum output in place of restricted output. Means through this planning and directing, okay, we may get restricted out, we may get maximum output through division of labor. Likewise development of each man to his greatest efficiency. Here we are having for functional foremanship. Means each person has their own activity, each person will develop in their own their activities, so to their greater efficiency. Likewise cooperation but not individualism. They have to work, both workers and management should work collectively but not individually, which is known as a mental revolution. Okay, so this is about the principles of the scientific management. Okay, and if we see the criticism part, so what does criticism means? Scientific management is ignored human touch. Okay, means it emphasizes more on the efficiency of the worker, increase in the productivity, machinery, relationship between the workers and machinery likewise, but it doesn't touch the human emotions or feelings. Okay, so scientific management, it emphasized only on machinery, so it treated men as machinery. Okay, so that is one criticism. Other thing is concentrated attention only on improving efficiency of workers and machines only. Okay, so then advocated extensive use of specialization, division of labor. Okay, so when there is more than required, means here it leads to specialization, means it separation of planning from doing. Okay, so this leads to separation of planning from doing, means certain complications may be evolved. Okay, so extensive use of specialization, morely using, we are here, see here we are dividing planning from doing. Okay, so we should it is more extensive way of specialization, so it curbs the positive environment in the organization. There will not be proper good interrelations. Okay, likewise use of words scientific is objected. Okay, why? Because it is not pure science. Okay, so that is why. Then this is about the principles of scientific management. Okay, and criticism. So basically, if we want to tell what is scientific management means, okay, so it involves different principles. Okay, so what are those principles? Means it is not a rule of thumb, it is a science. Okay, and there should be proper scientific selection, training and development to the workers should be provided. So this is another important principle in order to increase productivity of organization. Likewise, responsibility and authority and responsibility, there should be a clear division between authority and responsibility. Who is authorized person, who has the powers, okay, who will direct. So there is a clear division between responsibility and authority. Likewise, there should be a close cooperation between the management and labor. Okay, likewise planning and doing is differentiated. Planning will be differentiated, doing will be differentiated. Functional foremanship is divided into eight. Okay, 8 system, means 4 persons will be related to the planning and 4 persons will do doing works, means division of labor can be seen there. Okay, likewise development of each man is also to his great efficiency is also important principle, and cooperation is important but not individualism. Okay, so these are all the important principles of scientific management. Means it mainly emphasizes on only increase of productivity, but not, it doesn't show concern towards the human. Okay, it is not people oriented, it is only productivity oriented. So this is about the principles of scientific management. If we see administrative theory, so what does administrative theory says? So it is propounded by Henry Fayol. He is a French mining engineer. Okay, he developed general theory of management. Okay, and published in his famous book Administrate Industriale General, which is published in the year 1916. In that book he had wrote about the principles of management, means what are the principles that has to be followed by the organizations in order to get growth in the organization. Okay, so this administrative management emphasizes manager and functions of management. Okay, it emphasizes more on the manager, okay, then the functions of management, okay, activities and principles. Okay, so on all these aspects mainly concerned with administrative theory. Okay, so the main objective of administrative management is to describe the management process. Okay, the main aim of administrative theory is to describe the management process. Okay, we all know management process. So inputs, throughputs and outputs. So the main function is to describe the management process and philosophy of management. So in contradiction of scientific management, which deals mainly with jobs and works at the individual level of scrutiny, opposite to scientific management, administrative management gives a universal theory of management. Okay, so here we all know that Henry Fayol propounded administrative management, and he is known as father of modern management also, and he was a popular industrialist and victorious manager. Okay, so Fayol is considered that good management practice falls into certain patterns that can be recognized and analyzed. Okay, so from basic perspective, he devised a blueprint for a consistent policy of managers, one that retains much of its force to this day. Okay, so he had given certain functions, certain principles, and certain business activities. Okay, so business activities to technical activities, commercial activities, financial activities, security activities, accounting activities. Okay, so managerial activities. So all are those which are given by the Henry Fayol. So basically he divided the administrative system into three categories. Like one is regarding the business activities, and the other as functions of management, and finally principles of management. Okay, so if we see his major contributions. Okay, so what are the major contributions of Henry Fayol means here? To identify and classify. Okay, identify and classify business activities. What are business activities? Okay, so these are all business activities. Then to identify management as a separate set of skills. So he majorly contributed for these aspects. Okay, and second one is to identify the management as a separate set of skills. Okay, then other is to classify functions of management. So he had given 5 functions. Okay, then to develop universal principles of management means wherever you go in the world, those principles should be applicable. So he strived for that. Then to emphasize managerial qualities also. Okay, so if we see, so what are the classification of business activities means? According to Fayol, all activities of a business enterprise could be divided into 6 categories. Okay, as we have shown here. So first one is technical activities. Okay, so technical activities means it consists of all activities relating to the process of production or manufacture of an enterprise. Okay, so technical activities related to production or manufacture. Okay, so of an enterprise, it can be considered as technical activities. Now coming to commercial activities. What are commercial activities? Buying and selling. Okay, so buying, selling and exchange. So those are considered as commercial activities. If we see about financial activities, means concerning search for and optimum use of capital, means sources of funds we will see. Okay, and optimum utilization of those capital. Okay, investments of those capital. Then securities activities. Security activities are concerning protection of property and persons. Security is related to property and also the persons. Then accounting activities means concerning with maintenance of accounts and including statistics. Okay, so those are related to accounts and statistics. So those are accounting activities. Then finally managerial activities means all managerial activities means we are planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating and controlling. So although business undertakings differ from one another in nature, size or complexity of operations, yet these 6 activities are common to all enterprises. Okay, all these activities are common to all enterprises. Henry Fayol believed that successful functioning of an organization depends upon the performance of the above business activities, means the said above these 6 activities. Okay, so if we see functions of management. Okay, first one is forecasting and planning. So he had given 5 functions. Okay, 5 functions of management. So first one is forecasting and planning, and organizing, commanding, okay, coordinating and controlling. Okay, so all these are the functions of management. So we have already studied about functions of management. Okay, so that is nothing but forecasting and planning. Means we are forecasting, means we are planning. Either they may be short-term plans, long-term plans, or any other plans. Plans may be related to the policies, procedures, strategies of the organization. Okay, and if we see organizing, means organizing is nothing but the assigning of activities, okay, to the particular persons who has to organize. It depends upon directions, powers, authority and responsibility, centralization and decentralization of authority. So assigning of activities, all those comes under organizing. And commanding means, see, who will command means who will give directions. Okay, so this is the thing regarding commanding. So the directions from superiors to subordinates will be there. So according to the superiors' orders, subordinates should execute those plans. And coordinating, so there should be a coordination between the departments, between the individuals and within the organizational management. Then coming to controlling. So controlling is nothing but how we can control means by establishing the standards, okay, and comparing those standards with the actual performance. Okay, controlling can be done. If at all there are any deviations with the actual performance and standard performance, okay, then we will rectify and again we will go take any measures to control those. Okay, so that is the controlling part. So these are all the functions of management given by Henry Fayol. And if you see 14 principles of management. Okay, so as we all know, he is the father of modern management and he was a popular industrialist. Okay, so from the basic perspective also, he devised a blueprint. We consider him, he devised a blueprint, like giving these activities, giving these functions. Okay, now also providing these 14 principles of management, like division of work, okay, authority and responsibility, discipline, unity of command, unity of direction, subordination of individual interest to the general interest, remuneration of personnel, centralization, scalar chain, order, equity, stability of tenure, initiative and esprit de corps. All those 14 principles are given by Henry Fayol. So these 14 principles of management, they serve as general guidelines to the management process and management practice. Okay, so his principles of management are described as, first one is, see here, first one is division of work. Okay, so what does division of work means? This is the principle of specialization. Okay, specialization, which is detailed by economists as an important one for efficiency in the utilization of labor. Okay, so Fayol goes beyond shop labor to apply the principle to all kinds of work, managerial as well as technical. So basically, if we talk division of work means we are dividing the work into smaller units. Okay, and each work is performed by each person. Okay, so different persons will perform those units of work. Okay, so that is known as division of work, which is the good principle and best principle to be followed in any organization. Okay, so authority and responsibility means, in this principle Fayol discovers that authority and responsibility are interlinked. Okay, so the consequence of the former and arising from the later means, here without authority there is no responsibility, and without responsibility there is no authority. Authority is nothing but the power. Okay, so authority and responsibility both go hand in hand. Okay, and if we see about the third principle, discipline means, this discipline denotes respect for agreements which are directed at achieving obedience, application, energy, and the outward marks of respect. Okay, so Fayol describes that discipline requires good superiors at all levels. Clear and fair agreements should be there, and judicious application of penalties also should be there. So that is known as discipline. Means if there should be a proper rules and regulations should be there. Whenever there are proper stringent rules and regulations are there, employees in the organization work properly. Otherwise they will not work. There should be proper rules, there should be a discipline, then only, okay, there should be, for that discipline there should be a clear and fair agreement should be there, and it should be applicable in judicially. Okay, so another one is unity of command. Then unity of command means an employee should receive orders from one superior only. Okay, unity of command means one superior, okay, one subordinate. So this subordinate should receive orders from only one subordinate only, not from different subordinates. Okay, so that is unity of command. Then what is unity of direction? Fayol asserted that unity of direction is the principle that each group of activities having the same objective must have one head, one plan. Okay, unity of direction means one head, one plan. Okay, one head and one plan. It is unity of direction. Means in a department there should be only one head, okay, who looks after the department, he known as the superior, and there should be one head and only one plan should be there. Okay, not different different heads should not be there, different plans should not be applied. Okay, then subordination of individual. Okay, subordination of individual interest to the common interest means, here subordination means individual interest should not dominate over the common interest of the organization. Organizational goals should be first achieved. Okay, then only we should have individual interest. So that is known as subordination of individual interest to common interest. Here common interest is nothing but the organizational objectives. Okay, then remuneration of the employees means, here the salary and methods of payments should be fair, okay, and give the utmost satisfaction to the worker as well as boss also. So that is known as fair remuneration. Okay, then about centralization means powers are vested with only one person, or else authority is concentrated or dispersed in an enterprise. Individual circumstances will determine the degree of centralization that will give the best overall yield. So it emphasizes on decentralization of authority. Henry Fayol's principles, okay, administrative theory, it emphasizes on centralization of authority. Then coming to communication. So communication is nothing but exchange of information or opinion. Okay, so communication plays important role in the organization. So if at all there is no proper communication, means there should be a formal communication with rules and regulations. Okay, a written communication, there will not be oral communications. So all the things should be in a formal way, then the organization will be in a well-mannered one. Okay, so therefore communication also plays another important role in the organization. And if we see order, okay, order means here breaking this principle into material order and social order. So Fayol thinks of it as the simple edge of place for everything and everything in his place. Okay, this is a principle of organization in the arrangement of things and persons. Okay, again I am saying it is material order and social order, means it is related to the persons and it is related to the place. Okay, so it is we can say that it is a simple edge of a place for everything, means everyone, and everything is in its place. Okay, a proper order is followed. Then Equity. So what does equity means? Okay, so equity means Fayol perceives this principle as one of the eliciting loyalty and devotion for personal by a combination of kindliness and justice in managers dealing with subordinates. So there should be equality. Okay, so equity should be there between superiors and subordinates. Then only subordinates will be loyal to the superiors. Okay, very devotional to the organization, towards organization. Then stability of tenure of personnel. Here stability of tenure. Okay, stability of tenure, stability of tenure, tenure of personnel. Tenure is nothing but the period. Okay, so tenure of personnel, stability of tenure of personnel means instability is both the cause and effect of bad management, but stability is a good management. So Fayol indicated the dangers and cost of unnecessary turnover. Okay, so that is known as stability tenure of personnel. See here, if at all the persons who are working in the organization, okay, we can they can have if at all they have a stability of tenure in their organization, if they have the stability, then they cannot be easily removed from the organization also. So that is known as stability of tenure of personnel. Okay, then initiative. Okay, so what does initiative means? Initiative is envisaged as the thinking out and execution of a plan. Okay, so since it is one of the keenest satisfactions for an intelligent man to experience, Fayol exhorts managers to sacrifice personal vanity to permit subordinates to exercise it. Okay, means initiative should be given to the subordinates. Okay, here then thinking should be there, execution of a plan should be there, and these superiors should give a chance to the subordinate. They should sacrifice some personal vanity to permit the subordinates to exercise over it. Finally, esprit de corps. Okay, so esprit de corps, here team spirit. Esprit de corps means team spirit. Here 14th principle is I have wrote here team spirit, but actually esprit de corps. Okay, de corps. Okay, so what does esprit de corps means it reflects team spirit, union of strength. Means it can be considered as an extension of the principle of unity of command. Okay, so Fayol here emphasizes the need for teamwork and importance of communication in obtaining it. Okay, so this is all about the administrative theory. Okay, then criticism regarding this administrative theory. So Fayol's theory of administrative management is said to be formal, very formal. Okay, with rules, restrictions, regulations, etc. Okay, so in such type of organization with stringent rules means it is difficult to access in that organization. Okay, so he did not pay adequate attention to workers. Okay, so workers here much attention is not paid towards the pay. Okay, pay means the remuneration. Okay, then there is a vagueness and superficiality about some of his terms and definitions. Okay, so incomplete information is there. Okay, in his definitions. Then he hinted but not elaborated the management can and should be taught. Okay, regarding this aspect. Okay, he told that he had not deeply elaborated the management can be taken as a discipline. Okay, then his principles are over simplistic, means very simple. Okay, so these are the criticisms that are followed that are given by the bureaucratic theory, or else the neoclassical theorist regarding this Henry Fayol. Okay, so this is about the administrative theory.